homes, I repeat. Stay in your homes.
Johnny, what the hell is going on at the US border? It's just getting worse. Oh, the border crisis, Johnny. Oh, it's gotten bloody terrible, that's for sure.
The already disastrous border crisis is about to get worse.
More than 2,000 men, women and children are arriving every day in the Texan city of El Paso.
So this border catastrophe is not a natural disaster. It's not an act of God. It's an act of Joe Biden.
Oh, Jesus Christ, is it?
He says more than 15,000 migrants have arrived in the last week, and now...
So what is going on? It's almost as if they want these people to come over there, that they're not interested in securing their borders. You know, it's got me thinking. This has been going on for months and months and months, and as I said, it's got me thinking that there seems to be some sort of an agenda, a hidden agenda probably, about the real reason why this is just letting... An agenda? What sort of an agenda? There just seems to be a complete lack of action from the Biden administration. They don't seem to be doing anything at all. And that, to me, sort of points to some sort of an agenda. Right, yes, of course.
2,500 migrants have crossed into El Paso every day this week.
There you go. Now, I've heard a few things about it, about a few bloody agendas, but there's one I stumbled across just the other day, and that's from a woman called Lara Logan. Right, yeah. Now, Lara Logan, she's been classed as a bit of a nutcase, and she said a few outlandish things, what was said to be outlandish at the time, but I don't think they're so outlandish now.
Christianity. Then on Sean Hannity's program came this rant against immigration. She casually claimed that COVID vaccines aren't really vaccines.
Well, when they are done, there will not be an America. We don't have sovereignty over our bodies. We have to take a vaccine that's not really a vaccine, it's mRNA. We have to do all of these things.
It's pretty crazy stuff. Sean, let that one go.
Lara Logan, I don't know how much of a mind she had before this, but she has completely lost it either way. I like...
She needs help.
I mean...
Jesus Christ! So what's going on then? The main gist of it is, Johnny, that she thinks that this border, uncontrolled border in the US, is part of a bloody World Economic Forum. That's right. Bloody Klaus and all that.
People assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal, in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
At the latest World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Schwab set the tone for the conference with his glowing introduction of the opening speaker.
We now welcome His Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China.
And it seems to make more bloody sense than anything I've heard. Especially in line when you hear about what the World Economic Forum is trying to do with the rest of the fucking world. Our friends at Redacted on YouTube, they've been talking about it too. And they've picked out these bloody comments that this Lara chick, she's come up with.
Award-winning independent journalist Lara Logan, who was recently deplatformed for telling the truth and dropping a bombshell story that she says that from a United Nations whistleblower, she explains that this is all part of a plan. If you missed this, I want to play this for you. Watch.
Is the border of the United States not only not secure, but is there definitionally an invasion of this country, ma'am?
The border is wide open because we are living under a globalist policy of open borders. So there is no border security to speak of. Weapons are flowing across, drugs are flowing across, people are flowing across, money is flowing across, illicit funds, and so on and so on. I mean, everything that comes with an open border is what's flowing.
So she lays out how this is all part of a globalist plan to undermine the border security and to make basically North America and Mexico, North America as one unit. We're already seeing this with the World Cup, right? The next World Cup is going to be the North American World Cup.
Yes.
So I'm going to play more of what she had to say here because it is jaw-dropping. So here's the second one. Listen.
And the reason it's happening, Steve, is not It's not just an invasion. It is an invasion, but an invasion that is part of a long-term plan and political ideology to obliterate the sovereignty of this nation and change the way the world looks forever. It's not just America's sovereignty that's on the chopping block. It's sovereignty all over the world. It's just that this is the place that is the life and the guide for the whole world.
So here's where she starts to lay out what actually unfolds with this UN whistleblower. And I'm going to play two more from her because they're very, very important. Watch.
And what I learned from a source, who is a very unique source, having infiltrated the globalist cult at the UN level, is that he was in high-level meetings that required a number of security clearances where they actually discussed the plan to bring 100 million people into the United States in order to pave the way for a regional government of US, Canada, and...
Johnny, do you think he's saying that the whole border crisis in the US stems from a World Economic Forum agenda? Yeah, well, there's no other bloody reason I can think of why the government would just leave their borders just bloody open and just let millions of people just pour in every bloody year.
So a regional government. So get rid of the borders, and then here is the piece de resistance, the final I want to play from her. Watch.
And that was to bring in 100 million people from Latin American countries together with a strategy of creating these cartels, making life unbearable. It's called a push-pull strategy, where they push all these people out of these countries where it's unbearable living like this, and they pull them into the United States. And then once you reach that critical number of over 100 million in this invasion, they will then propose that, well, for your family and friends back home who need, you need ease of travel, they need a better life, and so on and so on. And we can do all this better with a regional government than we can with a U.S. government. And they will have enough critical mass inside the country in order to effect that policy. That's the globalist plan that we're working towards. But what we're already doing is living under their policy, where they've made the right to migrate a human right, recognized at the UN in 2018, and that now supersedes our sovereign right, thanks to the Biden administration and the open border ideologues who are in this government, who were never asked to be honest about their strategy in the campaign trail, who have bypassed the legislature and are implementing a strategy and a policy that not only did no Americans vote for it, because they weren't even given the opportunity, but most Americans don't support.
It would explain a hell of a lot of the weird behaviour relating to this border crisis that the Biden administration seems to be bloody engaged in.
Do you think it is a plan to allow 100 million people from Latin America into the United States to basically completely alter the American landscape? We're already seeing it.
Well,
I guess here's...
Holy shit! Can she be right? Now I know it sounds like bullshit, but it's bloody... it makes more sense than anything else I've heard about why this is just continuing to be continuing. Make it to do away with borders? So that would explain why the borders are just being left open, that everyone's officially struggling to keep everybody back in the bloody... They're doing all this sort of bullshit and everything, but actually they're just letting people through because they want this bloody huge population of South American people to start dominating the Western United States. I would have dismissed it as a conspiracy theory 10 years ago, but these days, Johnny, any bloody conspiracy you can seem to make up will eventually become true. Yeah, all of them. Perhaps his Logan chick, Johnny, mightn't be as fucking nutty as they first thought.
No, she was called crazy for saying these things, something that she had sourced.
But let me tell you, Johnny, the Ask Johnny channel, we're going to delve into this a bit deeper and find out whether there's any bloody possibility that this could be true. Bloody Klaus, I wouldn't trust bloody Klaus as far as I could throw him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"